start with Steve Herrod, our CTO of VMware. Steve, I saw your keynote the other day. It was pretty impressive. There was standing room only. And I've gotten a lot of questions from our customers about, it seems like we're making a lot of acquisitions. We're doing, we just announced a Tricipher acquisition. Mm-hmm. We've announced Integrian. We're doing all these acquisitions, but if I'm an IT admin, why do I care about that stuff?
Yeah, it's a good question. So we have more than 17,000 people here who are trying to find out exactly what's going on and where they should go. As Paul really did a good job of showing, we have a pretty broad vision for where the industry has to go, and we have an opportunity to take it on in a big way. Those two acquisitions are, obviously just part of our announcements. We launched 6 other products. We announced a new service for public cloud vendors, which was kind of cool. Verizon was up actually running the labs for us. So those 2 specific acquisitions fit into the overall strategy, and the overall strategy is to make the new infrastructure at the bottom level. Integrian is a company that really fits in nicely for running a giant data center, making it efficient and making sure that you know when problems are occurring.
The virtual giant.
The virtual giant, did you like that?
I did.
I was watching Iron Giant, which I don't know if people know it. It's kind of a fun movie. So we actually at one point had an Iron Giant logo, and then everyone told me that was lame. So
I was expecting a big floating head made of data centers, coming on screen.
Virtual Giant. I like that name, but anyway, the virtual giant has to be efficiently managed, and as we were saying, Integrian's a really cool set of technology. We'll fold it into our overall vCenter strategy to make it work better. But then it's the next 2 layers are a little bit new for VMware. The second one is around cloud applications and how you write them. All the Spring Source acquisition, Gemstone and Rabbit. We can talk about that more if you like. But then we get to the last level, and I really enjoyed talking about it. It's really personal to all of us. We have these devices, we use Gmail, and we use all these different accounts. But the world isn't ready for all those coming together. So what I'd like the world to be about is all of these applications are always available to me on my iPhone, my iPad, my Android device. And Tricipher is a piece of that strategy. It will let us make the authentication when I sign into my Windows desktop. It'll automatically sign me into some of these websites that I like to use. And that's better for me, convenient-wise, and it's better for IT, who has more control over what their employees are using.
So we don't have to have people with little notepads underneath their keyboards with all their passwords on it.
I always love the sticky that's up there that says, password equals.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it helps me because I don't have to remember all these passwords. It helps IT because if I should happen to leave the company, IT can get me out of the public cloud that I was using on their behalf.
Absolutely. And some of the stuff seems like it's overlapped with some of the other things we've done. Are we going to have 7 or 8 different ways to manage everything, or are we going to integrate everything together?
That's a good question. We have done a lot of acquisitions, and one thing we do need to do even better at is integrating them all together to common user interface, a single database. That's something we're very actively working in my office specifically. A gentleman named Ben Verghese is spending a lot of time on a common architecture. So the real challenge we have as an R&D staff is we want to move quickly and offer all these new products. Yep. And we do that by acquisitions and building things, but we also need to make it coherent and easy to use. So we're not there all the way, but we'll integrate these fairly quickly.
Great. And we've actually made some announcements about some really cool joint ventures we're doing with people like Google and Salesforce. Yeah. And do we have, those are some pretty big names that we're working with. It's pretty exciting to see the partnerships we have.
Yeah, really big stuff. Again, I think it opened a lot of eyes for VMware. Our first announcement was with Salesforce.com. We've launched a joint venture called VMforce. I kind of like that name. And VMforce is about a joint effort to make Spring, which is a Java programming language, the way that you write applications for the Salesforce platform. And why it really matters ultimately is that a lot of these clouds today, you write an application for them and it's in a weird language, it's not something you're used to. And once you write it, you can't ever leave that cloud.
Right.
So this is really saying, let's write something we're familiar with. Enterprises write in Spring all the time. And then we'll make it also portable. So you could run this application in your own data center. You could run it on the Salesforce.com data center. So that one's fun. Google's a little bit different. Google's obviously a giant name and fun to work with. We announced a similar thing though. They have something called App Engine, which is a cloud. Yep. And we'll make these same Spring applications instantly deployable to App Engine or to VMforce or to your own private data center.
So Steve, like you, I'm a little bit of a gadget freak. So I've got an iPad, I've got an iPhone, I've got a lot of gadgets. What are you going to do to make my life easier in the field?
Yeah, it's really fun to be able to talk about devices. We haven't talked about that so much, but it's, anyone who gets on an airplane now, anyone who's at home has all these devices that are great. They make it more fun and more convenient to do things. And so I was extremely excited to talk about Project Horizon, which is, for the first time, we're showing how we plan to incorporate all these devices into the future of IT. So for you specifically, you should be able to, and I should be able to do whatever I want from whatever device I have at any time.
It's all about instant gratification.
Instant gratification. That's what we're now being trained to really like, and that's what this cloud is about. But Project Horizon showed how we'll let you access your old Windows infrastructure, your existing Windows apps, as well as all these new apps, and it'll be custom fit for the type of device you have, and it'll even know about the network connectivity you have. So Project Horizon is going to be a big one. Stay tuned for a little bit more on that.
So when you're not racking up frequent flyer points, traveling around the world, talking about cool gadgets and neat innovations and things like that, what else do you like to do in your spare time? What do people not know about you?
I have a lot of fun outside of work as well. I'm really into sports. I love swimming and I love rollerblading. Now I love scooting after the keynote. And also, I'm part owner of a cafe, so I love good coffee and wine and food and just have a good time overall.
Fantastic. So can we invite the 17,000 attendees to your cafe when this is over?
We're not that big at this point, but yeah, we have a lot of fun with it.
We'll work on it. Great. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us for VMworld TV, and we'll hope everybody can check out the videos afterwards.
Yeah, thanks, Susan. Thanks. A new pro in telereporting.
I'm working on it. Thanks, Steve.